Huber Winery with Ted, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the winemaking process. So Ted, can you tell us a little about your winery?
Yes, we were actually established back in 1843 by my great-great-great-grandfather, who was from a wine grape growing area in Baden-Baden, Germany. Him and his two brothers came over here and settled our farm and bought it in 1843 and established vineyards and orchards here on the property. And in 1978, my father and my uncle re-established the winery and the vineyards here on the property and started our wine production.
And what all kinds of wines do you make here?
We're very diversified. We generate about 450 to 550,000 guests a year to our farm. And so we have a lot of different wines to add flavors for these guys to come out and see and taste. And so we have wines that are traditional, from Cabernet Sauvignons, Cabernet Francs, the traditional vinifera. Then we have a lot of really nice white wines that both in the dry style and semi-sweet style. And we also do fruit wines. We're a very large fruit farm, so we have strawberries, strawberry wine, blackberry wine, peach wine. And then with our distillery, we now do a new line that we call the infusion line. It's a combination of infusing brandy into pure fruit. And it's about 18%. We have raspberry, we have a brand new strawberry coming out this year, we have a peach, a blueberry in this product line.
Wow, that sounds like you've got a lot of options. Out of all of that, what is your #1 seller?
Our #1 seller is Sweet Marcella, which we're bottling today. It is a sweet sipping red wine, served chilled.
Okay, and can you walk us through the winemaking process? How you get from the grapes actually growing on the vines to your bottle?
Right, so the winemaking process, we like to think, really starts in the springtime, when the buds first start coming out and developing on the vine. And we do a lot of work between the time the spring and say the first part of May, all the way into when harvest starts about first part of September, growing that grape. When we grow our grapes a little different than you would if you were going to, say, use them for jelly or use them for juice or just regular table grapes. So the wine grape growing itself is a little bit different. When we get the grape just right to make wine from, we get the sugars right, the pH and the acid just right, they're hand harvested and brought into the wine operation. The first thing we do is remove the stems. We don't want to make wine from stems. So if you come here on a day that we're processing, you'll be able to see that these stemmer work. It's a really neat piece of equipment, picking the berries off, putting the stems into another container. And then from that process, if it's a red wine, it may ferment on the skins for 2 to 3 days or up to maybe 2 weeks. But if it's a white wine or blush wine, it immediately goes into the press to have the juice removed from the skin and the seed and the pulp. From that point, we do a standard fermentation to where we add yeast to it, and the yeast will convert the sugars that are naturally found in those grapes to alcohol. And from that point, it's no longer juice, it now is wine. And then from that part, we start aging process. And this is very different depending on what wine it is. Behind me, you see a lot of wood barrels. Almost all of our red wines will go through some type of wood barrel aging. And we have wood barrels here from France, from Hungary, from different parts of the United States. So depending on what type of red wine it is what type of barrel it will go into. But being very different when we're doing, say, a white wine or blush wine, you see a lot of the stainless steel tanks in this facility also. Those are for aging white wines and blush wines. We really don't want a lot of oak flavor and complex flavors in the white wines. A little simpler, a little softer, a little bit fruitier. But not to say that some of our whites are barrel aged and some of our reds are not barrel aged. It just depends on the style of wine. So each little wine that we make here has a little different level of way it is processed. And then once it finishes its aging, which could be very short, say for a strawberry wine, it may be only 2 to 3 months for it. Our normal white wine may be about 1 year aging. Our normal red wine is about 2 years of aging. When it reaches its perfect age, it goes to the wine cellar to where it is bottled. And then the bottling process will happen. We'll basically go through a nice filtration, get it into the bottle, get a nice cork onto it, get it into a box, bring it up to a tax-paid room where it'll sit for, some of the wines may sit for 6 months on the cork before we'll release it to the public, and other wines may just be 2 weeks.